Do be sure you check out the full season review with the card and link in the description. Remember to like this video for more Gen 5 reviews. So, we have finally arrived. Have you seen this dragon? The extremely ambitious finale that will surely wrap up Chapter 2's entirety with a neat little bow, and all the viewers can go home feeling seriously fulfilled. Or will they? Well, for me, the final episode of Chapter 2 served its purpose and finished the season in the most appropriate manner. There was a big mixture of cool plot elements and interesting animation choices at play here, despite its best effort to stand out more expressively than some of the most critically acclaimed episodes so far.
You can't solve me so easily.
So, how's about we find out what makes the finale hit?
Evil, I'm coming for you!
As discussed previously, with the starting episodes focusing on specific characters of the main cast, this final episode decides to try and one-up the solo-centered stories by having all the members of the main five be focused on. Besides Sunny, Izzy, Hitch, Zip and Pip taking center stage with their craziness, there is one character that hasn't properly had the chance to shine in the light: Sparky Sparkeroni. I found this concept of giving Sparky a chance to develop himself even further to be really gratifying, because if he's going to become an integral character in the future, it makes more than enough sense to flesh him out too. What would happen if he's all by himself with none of his friends or carers around to assist him? What if he gets into trouble? What if he gets
dragon napped?
Oh, have you seen this dragon answers that very question. The opening does a dang good job at establishing the nature of events to come and how Hitch is going to be brought to his lowest mental point. While I found the reveal that Hitch sleeps in the sheriff's office by himself hilarious, seriously, he doesn't even have a pillow! It was a nice slice of tension to start the episode with, especially coming off of the cliffhanger from Whodunit that Opaline swore to steal Sparky for herself. Hitch's early panic was clearly justified.
Sparky, where are you? Where are you?
Just like in the real world, I'm absolutely certain that many of you can relate to the frightening prospect of losing a child or even a pet. It's horrible to even imagine believing that your beloved companion or young kid could have been kidnapped or ran away. This episode explores that very notion, and I love how precisely correct it is showcased.
I protect him the way I protect all the ponies and critters in Maritime Bay, as if they were my own family.
Yes, Sparky was fine and dandy all along with Misty, but do they really think about the repercussions that come with the ponies trying to find him? It can feel dramatic. Of course, Hitch realizes he can't find Sparky by himself, so he calls upon the girls to assist him. As we saw before in Growing Pains and Alicond, Hitch comes to accept that asking for help is perfectly okay, and I loved how immediately it's displayed after the intro.
Sparky is missing!
What? No!
No pony takes his state of worry for granted and happily helps him out. This indeed leads into an amusing short montage of everyone looking for Sparky, thinking it's only a matter of hide and seek.
Macaroni, baloney! Everyone is after Roadflow the baloney!
After that, Zip storms. Oh god, I need to stop these jokes. Into the next scene with her cleverness and gives Hitch some heads up into the different places the dragon may be. Unlike the previous two episodes where her detective counterpart may have been a little bothersome, the finale officially shows it confidently. Being Hitch's deputy, Zip needs to stay strong for him and solve the disappearance as quick as possible so Hitch doesn't feel as anxious. I adored it how the rest of the girls were being his emotional support, knowing that Zip is the expert in this circumstance. This comes to light later on when she finds out how Sparky got kidnapped.
Notice in these pictures that Sparky is never without his blankie? If he's not with it, it's not by choice.
Now, if that isn't smart, I don't know what is.
Damn, if that ain't the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was great how Hitch brings himself back up and is determined to find Sparky.
I can do this. I can find my little guy.
Even his smirky expression here made me feel assured, but a little uneasy, as this can be seen as early signs of his mental deterioration. Out on the town, it was quite intriguing how the group began unknowingly breaking themselves down too. Zip wants them to plan ahead of time, Izzy wants them to follow their instincts, Sunny wants them to work together, and Hitch wants to search the office deeper if he missed anything. This type of plot narrative with the main five disagreeing with each other before eventually coming together to solve a conflict at the end has been one that's gotten explored to death in Tell Your Tale, most notably in A Home to Share, On Your Cutie Marks, and Another Pony's Trash.
I love how much energy you're bringing to this. But this is supposed to bring us together, not pull us apart.
And honestly, it's still elating to see how many different ways the main five can get on each other's nerves in spite of it coming with meaningful purposes. They want to find Sparky, but they've so easily forgotten the best way of communication. It's my belief that Have You Seen This Dragon establishes this descending bond between the main five way better than any Tell Your Tale episode could have. Well, for one, there's 15 more minutes of extra runtime, plus more emotional impact can be built in between the intermissions that Sunny, Izzy, Zip, and Pip so recklessly get themselves into. That way, nothing at all feels rushed or underdeveloped. Make Your Mark, with its 8 episodes, have done a much better job at exhibiting this certain type of story. The main five rapidly spread out to Sparky's favorite places, and this ends up with a humorous sequence with our characters tasting a starter of the chaos that's inevitably coming. Zip and Pip with their typical sister differences.
What is all this stuff anyway?
It's called makeup, Zip.
There's also a scene with Izzy having no respect for plant life and Sunny having a Rainbow Dash moment.
Please be more delicate with the plants. They have feelings too. I'm so sorry. She doesn't know any better. He doesn't deserve you.
Then, in Hitch's office, we receive a roll call of all the critters' names. All of them have names! I didn't notice that at first.
Yes, I found you, Pearl. Here? No, that's it. Here? Doug the bunny.
Great, now I want to see a fight between Angel and Doug battling it out. When all else fails, the main five naturally step up and come up with more efficient ways to find Sparky. This was a sector of the episode that I loved, as it truly gave us an actual notion to how sturdy and passionate the protagonist can be. This is exactly how the first special should have treated the main five behaving towards Zip, and this improvement makes me appreciate how the cast are gradually growing into more dependable and inspiring idols for the fandom and public fans.
Good, Anakin, good.
They have their own creative methods to locate where the dragon is, but they are oblivious to the possibility that it will end up in an entangled disaster.
It's go time! Now I mean, go!
Come on, ponies. You should have known that. Even I did.
You should just run out the door. Come on, guys. Don't you know how this works?
Before we dive into the havoc that'll soon crop out, let's take a look at the messy relationship that goes on between Misty and Sparky. The engagements that the pony and the dragon share is comedy gold, and it puts them both on display with their most basic characteristics. Misty wants to steal Sparky, but finds herself unable to due to her inner kindness and reluctance.
You're a really good listener, you know that? I'm usually the quiet listening one.
She feels bad for Hitch and wants to return Sparky, yet she has been manipulated over the edge into believing that if she succeeds, Opaline will give her a cutie mark.
She'll be so proud of me and so powerful. She'll finally give me my cutie mark.
She's mentally inconsistent with what she actually wants, and it makes us the audience feel even more sympathetic for Misty. The fact she willingly talks to Sparky about her plans with Opaline was an unsteady move on her part. Once Sparky matures, what happens if he remembers what Misty told him? It probably won't happen, but it's rather the interesting likelihood.
I see.
Misty's not perfect in her antagonistic ways, and she's constantly trying her best to achieve success. But when you have a baby dragon going haywire who has already been suspicious of her from the 6th episode, you know you're in a heap of trouble. Sparky's playfully evil smile is so cute every time. He causes a chase through the Bright House, with Misty pleading with him not to harm her, which had a couple of silly moments.
My name is Mr. Spoon and I'm... Ouch! A prickly cactus! Take a picture!
Before the episode decided to go home alone on us.
Hello.
Honestly, in my eyes, this was both funny and a letdown. It does sound fitting that Sparky would use his transformative powers to conjure up essentially a giant mousetrap to mess with Misty. Her ballet performance avoiding everything was a joy, but was that it? This is meant to be the season finale, and this is what we get? I know it's not going to be as violent since Hasbro never changed their overly sensitive ways, but I can't help but feel like these interactions with Sparky and Misty were barely given the time of day. Izzy did have the right idea at the start, and it makes the chaos outside very ironic by the end, but there's barely any fun restricting the duo's part of the story to just being inside a cupboard.
I come in here just to get away from it.
There could have been a wild opportunity for Misty's chase of Sparky to enter many other rooms in the Bright House, outside of it too. These missed pieces of potential do show how lackluster this finale can be in terms of action. This can be compared to even Friendship is Magic Season 1's finale, The Best Night Ever, where it featured the main characters going crazy because of nothing working out with their wishes. The same happens with Main 5 as well, and it almost feels like nothing new. The cycle has come back around. Hasbro will never learn from their mistakes, will they?
Stop! Why do you have to ruin everything?
Alright, critical side of me, enough of that. Let's tune back to the delicious side of this episode.
This is amazing!
Surely, with better solutions on their hooves to find the missing dragon, everything can turn out fine, right? Right? A chaotic cycle of events between the main 5 using their different methods of attraction turns into brilliant contrasting humor overlapping each other. Zip overthinks herself with muddy trails that causes her investigation to keep crashing into her sister. Pip attempts to use the power of the internet for getting the attention of the residents, but every pony don't see it because of Izzy doing a Pinkie Pie from Swarm of the Century. A stupid, but nice callback indeed. Izzy uses it to try and allure Sparky using all of his favorite things, but she's not careful with it that ends up knocking Sunny around. It's such a fantastic, hysterical scene that's completely out of control, yet you can still understand what's going on. And to top it all off, we get my boy and his critters doing a Batman and Robin impersonation.
I'm coming for you!
This scene had me in stitches. Celestia knows how Hitch got a hold of Zoom and Thunder, but fuck it, I loved how this showed Hitch's rationality broken apart. There was even a section where we see the moment Hitch lost himself after Sunny calls him up to tell him nothing is working.
No more Mr. Nice Stallion.
The camera is focused from Hitch's eye level before it tilts upwards from below him to show his freakly decoration until it ends on an extreme close-up on his eyes with the mask sliding over them. It definitely caught me off guard the first time I watched it, and I still enjoy it. Witnessing Hitch wreaking havoc around the bay was chuckle-worthy and gave me Party of One vibes when his voice mockingly deepened to make himself sound fearsome.
You'll regret the day you ever crossed Sheriff Hitch Trailblazer.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am
Hitch Trailblazer.
At this point, Sunny should become a publicist for how many times she can throw out buoyant speeches to her friends so they can just listen to her. It was suitable that Sunny would be the one to slap some reality into her friends this time, and to think that she's only repaying the favor for how many times her friends have helped her during her troubles this season. Contrived as it may be for how Izzy, Pip, and Zip instantly snap out of their wacky wits, it was rather pleasing to hear Sunny treating the situation seriously and making sure that all control is in order.
Friends, we need to remain calm and listen to each other. Unified. We can do anything, remember?
After they hand Hitch back his wits, another unthinkable thing happens.
I know how to find Sparky!
Pip is the one to save the day, and the song that happens, God. A special tune is possibly my favorite song in Chapter 2. It's too wholesome for me to handle. The fact that it is Sparky's lullaby helps me appreciate his character that little more, as the song can define him as a whole. The scene with the main 5 in the middle of the bay singing the song is really special.
You hear that song?
The visuals are remarkable, the soothing rhythm of the song, the characters calmly working together after all of the mayhem before Hitch lights up with joy to hear Sparky's voice echoing out. The song resonates with you to stay genuine to yourself so you can be heard by those who don't bat an eye. Because it's a lullaby that Pip wrote for Sparky, she would want to keep the baby dragon happy about himself, no matter what people may think of him when he possibly grows up. So yeah, you watching this video, please stop hating on the dragon. The dislike isn't worth it in the long run. Thankfully, the main five managed to track Sparky down to that darn cupboard, and Hitch accidentally gets caught in all the traps. A joyful piece of humor to end all of the overblown madness that occurred earlier. Classical slow motion. It was a great reunion with Sparky, and Hitch apologizing for going full Arkham City is legitimately the second time he's held himself accountable for something he committed. It's great that his friends forgive him for that too. The epilogue of this episode was quite gorgeous, as we are left again wondering for the future and what else is new to explore and discover out there in Equestria. Izzy comes around the corner with the dilapidated tram carriage she mentioned earlier.
A perfectly good super old broken down tram car that I have big plans for.
Which would ultimately transform into the fabulous mare stream. Even when I didn't know it would turn into the vehicle, I was still firmly excited for what would be made out of it.
Yeah, I guess it works.
Then finally, the episode concludes with a peaceful walk through the bay in the sunset. There's nothing else now but to hope for the best for what's coming soon in Chapter 4. Oh, what's that? What about Opaline and Misty? Well, it's all been building up to this point in the review, and now, let's finish this puppy!
Finish her!
Opaline and Misty's final scene together is fucking glorious. Misty may not have captured Sparky, but she caught a sample of his dragon fire for Opaline's benefit. It was so eerie how Opaline admired the magic with such an edgy tone before embracing it with open wings. I would be lying if I didn't say she looked daunting here. It's now gone too far for Misty to handle, so she resorts to hiding and whimpering. When the power faded away, I was awaiting Opaline to lash out in anger, and so she did.
More! I need more!
It's understandable why Opaline would react this way with so much dialogue, because she waited this long for just a fraction of Sparky's power. Then Opaline loses it and projects her rage onto Misty and... oh goodness me.
And you won't be enough, Misty! Not until you can prove that you're actually useful and get that dragon!
Fuck me sideways. I am going to be having nightmares of Opaline's close-ups.
Please don't hurt me.
I may have found her manipulative wickedness in Alicon her best performance, but nah, here it's bloody unbearable. There's even this brief expression from Misty that symbolizes her shattered heart. She's probably never even been shouted at like that in her life.
Fuck you for me! For us! For everyone! Fuck you!
And then we get a proper glimpse inside Misty's bedroom, and I loved the detail here of how Opaline's been treating her. She only has a dog bed and one drawing of Opaline on the wall, compared to how she was treated by her friends in the Bright House. Like, no, Opaline, you are one inconsiderate little bitch.
For some pony made of fire, I've never met a heart so cold.
That single line is arguably the most hard-hitting line in Gen 5's existence. All of Misty's insecurities and inner sadness summarized in one sentence. And then it cuts off like that. It's brutal how it doesn't let you see her cry any longer, leaving the rest to the imagination. It's only a matter of time until either Opaline or Misty finally breaks to backstab the other. I eagerly await that day. So, repeat this after me, Fluffbutts. Was it a yay or a nay? We have to thank Sparky Sparkeroni for producing a nicely fitting end to the season. Everyone was eagerly implemented into the plot with such a laughable style of comedy, and the epilogue left a lot open for a hopeful peek into Chapter 4. Despite the lack of a flair to drive the finale more ambitiously, I'm happy that Have You Seen This Dragon didn't hold back with its haunting atmosphere. Deservingly, it earns a yay. Hot damn! What a marvelous presentation of all the stuff that got featured in Chapter 2 up to this point. While Misty and Sparky's hideout was goofy fun and felt somewhat juvenile, the explosion of contrasting action between the main five was very exciting. As much as I wished more could have happened with the cupboard duo, the importance of teamwork humorously flying over the ponies' heads when each of them went awry was ironic fulfillment. It gave me a lot of satisfaction to see the main five being implemented equally into the plot before it ties itself up neatly near the epilogue. Hitch's fatherly instincts and emotional moments resonated with me personally, as the missing pet concept was perfectly drawn out to a commonplace degree. His gradual mental descent before it culminated with superhero cosplay is my favorite moment of the episode.
I'm Batman.
Even the critters proved themselves worthy of attention, and I congratulate them on that. The song A Special Tune was beautifully timed and represented Sparky in a positive light rather than an annoying one. Then the ending left a lot open for constructive speculation for what is coming soon, until Opaline and Misty's last scene struck my heart with its dark and depressive aura. Have You Seen This Dragon is a gorgeous and fitting end to Chapter 2. I award Have You Seen This Dragon a yay and an 8 out of 10. If only this episode did the cupboard more justice, it would be even higher. But no doubt, this final episode was an absolute treat. I shall hand for the last time Have You Seen This Dragon an A rank. Also, Fluffbutts, I am going to add a new tier list into the mix because this is going to be a season tier list. So, where am I going to place Chapter 2 on the season tier list? I think I shall give Chapter 2 a perfectly nice B rank. Thank you so much for watching this review, Fluffbutts. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and hoof tap this video and comment your thoughts down below of what your thoughts on this episode were. Also, don't forget to leave a pledge on my Patreon page down in the description below so you can help support me in making these fantastic videos more consistently. And I shall see you all very soon. Goodbye! And before the video ends, I would like to shout out my Silver Fluffbutt patrons, Louise Wade and Alex Smith, and my Gold Fluffbutt patron, the Pate and Grauerful Trisky. I truly appreciate your love and support.